Should you use Valkey over Redis on AWS? In my previous post, I alluded to a new tech on the scene that is likely to replace Redis, at least for those of us on AWS. So let's dig into some of the factors here. All right, cost, just looking at the smallest possible instance for Redis or Memcached, the micro of course, we're looking at 1.6 cents an hour. Compare that to Valkey at 1.28 cents per hour. You've got a fraction of a cent per hour, but that adds up really quickly, especially with the bigger instances. According to the ElastiCache pricing, you can further optimize costs on ElastiCache Serverless for Valkey with 33% lower pricing and 90% lower minimum data storage of 100 megabytes compared to other search engines. Considering the first time I tried Redis Serverless on AWS, they snuck in a minimum cost of 1 gigabyte, so I only had a couple kilobytes, and I still got charged for the whole gigabyte. This is awesome. It's a very small fraction of the minimum cost. So if you're considering serverless, definitely check that out. Partitioning minimum requirements. A while ago, I set up a partition cluster of Redis OSS, the open source node on AWS, and they had a minimum instance size, I thought, at the time. When I looked at the documentation today in preparation for this post, I couldn't see it. But I can tell you for a fact that last week I booted up a T4G medium in Valkey, and I was able to get that to run just fine. I think I can go smaller with it, actually. I'm going to play with that. But just keep that in mind. You've got more horizontal scaling capability with Valkey. Let me know if you want me to do a deeper hands-on dive into that one. I just haven't had time today to do that. Let's talk about the SDK. Despite the fact Valkey has its own CLI tool, it is completely backward compatible with Redis. As a matter of fact, at the time of writing this, Valkey's PHP SDK client they recommend you use is actually PHP Redis or Predis. They actually do have a couple of SDKs out there, but PHP not so much. I don't blame them. Geospatial. This deserves its own series. I actually didn't even realize Redis did geospatial. Just so you know, in case you didn't know, they do. And Valkey does as well. So I'm very curious to play around with that. I really want a project that does geospatial now, so I can do this. It'd be a lot of fun. As far as documentation goes, it actually fell a bit short. The Valkey did, actually. It's also possible it's Google. I'll explain. Tomorrow, next post, I don't know what it is, I'm going to dive deeper into a certain piece of functionality. And figuring out how to use it was a huge pain, and I had to basically go in and find a text file that explained it to me, but Google didn't have that indexed. So, I don't know, they should have had it documented better in HTML or something maybe, but at the same time, Google search might be getting worse. That's its own side note. Docker image support. Both Redis OSS and Valkey have a well-maintained Docker Hub image, making local development really simple. Obviously, you're running via ElastiCache, it doesn't matter, but for Docker Compose up locally, love it. With that said, right now, mainly because of the cost and the performance issues, as well as the decreased minimum requirements, at least the serverless ones, I am firmly in the Valkey camp. But that may change with time. So a question for you, have you started using Valkey? If so, which do you prefer? Let me know. Cheers.